Macbeth were formed 1995 in Milan, Italy as Land of Dark Souls, renaming to the shorter Macbeth in '96. When drummer Fabrizio was asked in an early interview why the band had chosen the name of the Shakespeare play, he explained,
"In our music, you also find poetry, violence, melancholy, wrath and sweetness. Our sound offers the same mixture of opposites."
After the demo tape Nocturnal Embrace in '97, they signed with the recently started label Dragonheart Records, who would release all Macbeth albums until today.
I open my mouth to your divine scarlet nectar, and my blooded lips will look for in a marble blast of ecstatic pleasure. Bring up my desire. Bring up my desire. We are immersed in a boundless sea of sorrow. Death is the dawning, also with it in our wreck. Sweet is my rest, like a kiss, woman I love. When all around is pale and weak, the cloud of sadness.
This album looks very gothic from the outside, but the death metal growls are still dominant. Romantic Tragedy's Crescendo is an impressive debut with a grip on the listener because the songwriting knows how important variety is. The hateful black metal screams in Thy Mournful Lover, for instance, are followed by the piano playing in Moonlight Caress, before Shadows of Eden and Sweet Endless Sleep take us into darker metal areas again. However, in the late 90s, there were quite a lot of bands in this type of Beauty and the Beast subgenre, so Macbeth struggled for an identity of their own. This would lead to some changes on the next record.
Preparation relevance, baby falls with off his mouth. For me it's all heaven and doubt, but the shadow was the skin. No bigger glass for evil scenes, wishing you don't with most regrets. Like a cross on devil's man, deadly answers has fallen in love. Fear and trust and lies to the light. We are the crown of kings and clowns, and always stand new favors. Still life of masquerade to appear, warm eternal shining like a star. Beware of the forget song and lamps, Gargan angels, the great by night.
The second album saw several lineup changes, including previous vocalists Vittorio and Cristina, who were replaced by Morena and Andreas. Morena had a deeper voice than Cristina, and Andreas would also do clean vocals, so the overall impression changed quite a bit with the singers. Keyboards moved more into the foreground of the mix and thus added to a more melodic sound. What did the critics write about the band at the time?
Vanitas is a good album, becoming more original, and lessening the cliché impression the first album may have left. Macbeth ceased to be just another gothic band with female vocals, but retained the best characteristics of their early days, and went to meet the new challenges of the future.
This music is definitely gothic metal, but with a lot more punch than any other band in this genre that I know. On one hand, the music is often faster than usual gothic metal. On the other hand, the Italians also really like the slow songs, as you can hear on Aloysia.
With this second album, Macbeth are consistently making their way towards a varied mixture of power metal and gothic elements, combined with dark, melancholic, but soulful songwriting. Especially the symphonic keyboard parts are strongly reminiscent of Rhapsody. With their style, Macbeth are reminiscent of their compatriots from La Cuna Coil or The Good Old Gathering, while the female voice by Morena isn't bad, but somehow nothing special.
Admittedly, the critics had a point about Morena's singing. She didn't hit it perfectly yet, but would be improving on the next albums with more experience and confidence. Today, Vanitas seems to be an intermediate album between the old Macbeth of the 90s and the new Macbeth of the 2000s. The third album, Malé Artes, was the most accessible album of the band so far. Maybe with less aggression, less growls, but good melodies. Too much clean vocals for my taste though. The 3-minute rocker How Can Heaven Love Me is a good example for the more simple style attempted on this record. Lifelong Hope, Henceforth and the darker Downhearted are my favorite songs. The band had only been a big fish in their local pond Italy so far, but now started touring in other European countries, Mexico and South America too. From these times, Macbeth maintained a certain fan base in Latin America until today.
Intoxication, the celebration of my falling bright star, and another way to go from the valuation. She's sucking out my life, closing my eyes. Is she the one I'm waiting
for? Super Angelic Hatebringers was an ambitious record. It even spawned a video single entitled Without You. It was well promoted with live shows, for example the Middle Female Voices Fest in Belgium, but it is my least favorite album of the band. Macbeth are trying hard to be more modern, groovy, trendy, but the magic of the songs is gone somehow. Everything is too cold and sterile and doesn't have the emotional touch. Maybe it's just me, but my appreciation curve for the band works like a U-shape, starting with 2 great albums, sinking with the 2 followers, and then rising again with the 5th album I'm going to talk about.
my heart. I don't want to see the air. Our dream, fragile, like a feather in the wind, and nothing to say, and nowhere to hide. In a moment lost in time, your head, your eyes seem to tell me that we're done.
7 years after Super Angelic Hatebringers, Macbeth were back with their new album Neo-Gothic Propaganda. Morena explained the delay in the interview with first an injury of the guitarist Max and second with the birth of her daughter. Morena is married to Fabrizio, the drummer of the band. Anyhow, Neo-Gothic Propaganda sounds fresh and lively. Speeding up things again, it's taking a step back to the roots. This is the catchiest album of Macbeth, with the most memorable songs. I think they wrote some real hits here, like Last Night in Shanghai, Little Spark and Scent of Winter, which became the video single for the album. And just when they were really good, Macbeth faded away. Unfortunately, there were no news since 2014. The band has neither released any new album for 8 years, nor updated their homepage or YouTube channel, so even if no split was announced, I have doubts if they are still active. Their record company keeps distributing their stuff though, in case you're looking for some of their albums. That shouldn't be hard. Whether they'll give us something new or not, Macbeth are a kind of hidden gem in Gothic metal, severely underrated outside Italy, and this little feature hopefully helps to spread the word. Goodbye.